Hi all. One thing that people tend to worry about when they're doing their artwork is getting it wrong. Well, there isn't really any getting it wrong where art is concerned, because if your art isn't right, then it simply isn't finished. It might be that the actual picture that you're working on doesn't quite go to the plan you had set out in your own mind, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. You might put a picture or a piece of artwork to one side and decide that you don't want to progress it any further, and you might move on to another piece. But the chances are that you've learnt something from doing the first piece and you can take that into your next piece. So it's all progressive stuff, it's all developing, it's all learning. So what we're going to do today is a little drawing exercise which hopefully shows that there is no such thing as getting it wrong where art is concerned. I'll do a demonstration, and then it'd be great if you had a go as well. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is start doing some scribbling on a piece of paper. I've got my paper, I've got my pencil, and I'm just going to start making marks on the piece of paper, not thinking about the marks I'm making. There's no thought processes going on here. I'm basically just making marks on the piece of paper. So you could say that what I'm doing here is wrong because there's no structure to it, there's no thought behind it, it doesn't relate to anything. But it's not wrong because, as I said earlier, there are no wrongs where art is concerned. I'm going to stop there, and if I have a look at it, it's a scribble. It doesn't have any substance, it doesn't represent anything. And that doesn't matter. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working back into that drawing. I'm going to start looking at the shapes that have been formed and try to make some sense of them, try to develop them, try to make something out of what I've got here. Okay? And that's what I'm going to show you next.
So hopefully you could see there how I took the initial scribble and I started to try to make some sense of it. It still doesn't represent anything, but what I was trying to do was find interesting lines and shapes in there that I wanted to define. And I did that by working back over the top of them. I strengthened the tones in some places, I shaded into some areas, I changed things as well. I added other lines from time to time, and I was just trying to make an interesting composition. I was trying to make something out of what was initially just a scribble. Okay? The whole point of this is to try to get across the idea that there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes in art. It's all about learning, it's all about looking at what you've got and thinking, what can I do with it next? Okay, why don't you have a go, and I'll see you soon. Bye.